All right, we are live. Welcome back to Mock Draft 2.0.
2.0, right?
Yeah, it's been a
Okay.
while. I think the last time we did it was right after the Super Bowl. So
Yeah, right. Super Bowl.
a ton of stuff that happened, especially this past week. 2 trade ups last Friday. Pretty crazy. Very early before the draft, but that's what makes it fun.
A
And
month away.
yeah, and speaking of our free agency video, we said the Niners. Well, I said the Niners love their free agency. Well, let's make a move at quarterback. And what do? They send 3 first-round picks to get up to number 4. Number 3, I mean.
Yeah,
So,
number 3. Yeah.
I don't know how much if there was a little bit of an overpay. Granted, they had to come from 12 to 3, so I get it. But do you really think any of the remaining quarterbacks who are going to be there after the first 2 are worth that kind of capital?
for the
Yeah,
Niners specifically,
sure.
I'm going to say yes, but it was a lot to give up. And apparently they're not even sure of who they're taking yet. So I don't like that.
I think that's smoke. I think they know who they're taking. Like you don't
No,
trade.
I don't think they know.
I don't think you give up 3 first-round picks unless you have like a guy in mind.
I think it's way too early to know.
When they first did it, it was a lot of like, oh, they're taking Justin Fields. And then
I don't
my
think
thought process was, because I always did this since 1.0, I even convinced Markello and Peter. I was like, this is before it was popular. I always thought Trey Lance was going number 4. So I was thinking in my head, why would you jump number 4? Okay, let's get to 3 to take Trey Lance. But then there's been a lot of Mac Jones talk where I'm like, do we really need to trade 3 first-round picks to get Mac? I actually do like Mac Jones, but like not at number 3. I think you could have moved up to 8 or 7 to get him. Maybe I'm wrong. There was a team like maybe Atlanta was zeroing in on him. I'm not sure, but that seems like that might be the one that's smoke. I mean, who knows? I said that Shanahan loves those type of quarterbacks who are like seem to be non-athletic, but like that would be crazy. Like that would still blow my mind on draft night if Mac Jones.
that would be a severe overpay. Like if you told me they gave up 3 first-round picks because he would have been there at 12 unless
I don't know about
12. No,
you
wouldn't have.
Unless something crazy happens in like the top 10 where like he ends up going. I actually have him in the top 10 in mine.
I think he would.
Cool.
I think he would have been in the top 10. I just don't think it would have been 3.
But do you think it would have been 3? Yeah, definitely not 3.
But hey, like we said, if he's your guy, he's your guy, right? So.
But that's the thing. I don't think they know who they're taking yet, which is why I think they just jumped up to 3 so they could have all the options available to them. Like it's their pick of the litter.
But I just don't see like. I think they have 2 guys in mind, and they're just trying to like weed out whichever one they don't like want at the end. I think it's either Trey Lance or Mac Jones, and they're just trying to figure out who's going to bring the franchise, to more prosperity.
Well, why are you so against Fields in the Shanahan system?
I'm not against Fields. I just think like the ceilings of Jones and Lance are higher. Like Fields looks great. Fields could start like out the gate. He wouldn't be impressive, but he'd be getting the job done. Lance probably can't start out the gate. Jones probably can't start out the gate.
I don't think they're going to ask them to start out the gate. I think there's a real possibility whoever they draft doesn't see the field this year.
Or at least whenever Jimmy gets.
I'd say half the year. I don't know about
until Jimmy gets hurt.
Yeah, until Garoppolo gets hurt.
So Jimmy G gets hurt and they lose faith in him, and that's it.
I don't know. So before we start the mock, who would you guys take at 3? I would take Fields. I'm still considering him at 2. He already knows Shanahan from they did the camp thing out of high school. Not that matters any significance, but I still really like Fields. I think you two are a little bit low on him. I do think by far for me at least he's locked in his quarterback 3. It's super close even between Trevor, Wilson, and Fields, and then there's a pretty decent gap for me from Mac Jones and Lance after that, only because I like Lance. It's just like the 1-year thing, and unfortunately he didn't get to play this year really because of COVID, so he scares me a little bit. But like this is a special quarterback class, so I don't hate like teams moving up. Like even though they're going to be the 3rd quarterback taken, I don't think that's fair on either Fields, Lance, or Mac Jones. Maybe it's a little bit fair, but he's still a good prospect. There's some who argue he's better than Tua, and Tua was the 3rd overall pick last year. So it's a very good quarterback class, and I'm intrigued how it goes. We might have a real possibility of the top 4 picks being all quarterbacks. The top 3 are automatically now are. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be cool. Hopefully we make history. I do want the top 4 picks to be quarterbacks. I got a feeling it won't be though.
I don't think Atlanta might not stay there, or if they do, I don't think they'll take a quarter as of right now. It's still an option, of course. I just don't think they're locked in like everybody's mocking them to.
If Atlanta doesn't stay there, who else would be a trade up for a quarterback? Or maybe if someone wanted to hop like the Bengals for Sewell, it'd be the only thing like I could think.
Well, I
Yeah.
saw a thing now. We'll get to it, the Bengals pick. But I saw a report, I don't know how true it is, that Joe Burrow's pushing management for Jamar Chase, which makes a lot of sense, actually.
They're going to take Jamar Chase. I've been telling you guys this forever.
That's
Well,
crazy.
I'm only doing this now because this is what Burrow's pushing for. The whole point is to keep Burrow happy. And granted, obviously, offensive line is a smarter choice than a receiver at 5. But if your quarterback is asking, your star quarterback, who had the best quarterback season in college football history, is asking for the guy he did it with, you give him that guy.
Yeah.
You guys want to trade up to number 1? I'm declining this, so I'm just going to start. We have
Ryan, hold on. I will offer you.
I already skipped it. So.
Pick 28, right?
No, you're
Marshawn Lattimore.
He just got arrested. I'm okay.
Marcus Davenport.
Oh.
Ryan Ramczyk. And 2 first-round picks. Future first-round picks. And a future third.
Are you talking about number 1 or number 2?
For number 2.
No, I'm sick. I'm already. I have my guy already.
Ryan, that's a lot of capital.
I don't care.
We'll give you Taysom Hill.
The Jets even the Niners must have called the Jets, and the Dolphins took that offer because it's year 2 of Tua. They're hoping the Jets are obviously locked in in taking a quarterback. So your package is nice. There's a lot of good players, but if we didn't take,
I know you watched the highlights after of the pro day, but watching it live and just seeing Douglas and Saleh, there's no shot. Watching Zach Wilson do what he did live, it looked like that on television. Could you imagine what it was like in person?
Yeah, it was pretty
thrown across his body,
the entire thing, all 28 minutes of it. So
yeah.
But we'll wait for Markello to get back. But you're up first, Peter, right? So I think we all know what's happening. Number 1.
Yeah, it's gonna be Trevor Lawrence. At this point, honestly, I don't think. I remember last time I went to your house, I told you I don't even have it I have Lawrence 1, Wilson 2, and then there's a gap. I have it 1A, 1B, Lawrence, then Wilson. I might even have Wilson 1A right now above Trevor Lawrence, but just because I like Zach Wilson more as a prospect and as a quarterback right now, this pick, Urban Meyer already knows that it's going to be Trevor Lawrence. He did some interview the other day, and he kind of made it obvious, but not obvious at the same time, right? So
made it very obvious. So.
Yeah.
He went on Peter King. You guys want to watch that? Peter King, just typed in Peter King and Urban Meyer. It basically confirms. I mean, we all knew Trevor was going there, but
yeah, he just shut down any rumblings because the past few weeks it's been just crazy Zach Wilson hype, and for good reason.
Yeah,
but
I'm super shocked at this because I was on the Zach Wilson train for a long. Even when we lost out at Lawrence, I was upset. But I always thought it was going to be Fields and. Even Lance, I always thought Wilson was going to be quarterback 3 or 4 in this class, just going back to December. And you can go back, I even pinned it to my profile, December 22nd. I told the Jets to take Wilson at 2. So it was not a popular take at that time. Was not on national media. But yeah, I feel good. And now it feels like 75 to 80% chance of it happening. The other 19% is Justin Fields. And now 1% is Sam Darnold. So things are looking up.
That's the thing too, because a lot of people, they don't watch college football till after the NFL season's over, and all we've been hearing for the past year, not just this season, from a year ago, has been Trevor Lawrence is going 1 and Justin Fields is going to go 2, and we've been hearing that for the longest time. So we just assumed that was locked in the first 2 picks, but then Zach Wilson came out with the surprising, great season that he had at BYU, and it's BYU football. People aren't even, they don't take the competition seriously, even though they had a lot of games with COVID canceled, and then it was random spur of the moment games that week. Zach Wilson still made a name for himself, even for a school like BYU, to be a top 2 pick in the draft.
All right, Markello, you ready?
Jaguars is Trevor Lawrence. We can lock that in.
I'm ready. Yeah, that's given.
I think the first 2 picks now are given in this NFL draft. It wasn't given a week ago, but just based on the trades that happened Friday, it basically confirms the Jets, and all we've heard about is how the Jets love Zach Wilson from multiple people. So, and basically, if you realize Schefter and Rappaport are also hinting it, but not confirming it because they don't want to before the draft. So, this is the most interesting pick. I think the start of the real NFL draft. It's obviously going to be a quarterback. So, Markello, not who you would take. Well, tell us who you would take, but then tell us who you think the Niners will take.
Who I would take would probably be Trey Lance, but that's just because I love him. I don't know. That could be a little bit of bias, but who the Niners are probably going to take.
Mm-hmm.
See, I'm really debating between Lance and then Jones. I think it's either one of those two. I don't think they're going to take Fields because I think he's a surefire, ready to go product, and they don't want to sit him, diminish any of that confidence. So
I don't think it's that because I think sitting for a little while could help Fields a lot. I think he needs to sit for a while. I think all the quarterbacks past the top two shouldn't start day one of the NFL.
I think they all could, honestly.
I don't think
they should.
I think Fields could start.
So do I. I even think Lance could start because they have different, I know Fields holds the ball a little bit, but that might have been just Ohio State's offense because there was no quarterback who got pressured more than Justin Fields. The Ohio State offensive line was terrible.
I know, but there's no – I feel like his anticipation throwing is just not there. It's always, the first read, and if it's not there, he uses his big, cam-sized frame and takes
I really
himself.
think that, I'll just say this now for the record. I really think Fields is just being completely overlooked. It's screaming to me Deshaun Watson and Justin Herbert where his physical upside is insane. His athleticism is on another level.
And he's tough.
We have a reason for it. Ohio State's offensive line was terrible. He did not have time in the pocket. He made good plays. I'm still in consideration. I'd be happy if we took him at 2. I know it's basically I love Zach Wilson too. So I'm in a pretty blessed situation. All I didn't want to do was keep Darnold, and it looks like we're making the right decision. But enough about the Jets, Markello. Who is the Niners' next quarterback?
So we're gonna go with Trey Lance from NDSU. I have faith.
You think this is gonna happen?
I think this is gonna happen.
Okay. So it was weird because Friday, Justin Fields was the favorite, the odds-on favorite. Then it shifted to Lance, right? A couple hours later, and now it's Mac Jones. So
nobody has any idea truly what they're going to do because they don't even know yet.
So the Atlanta Falcons, Peter, we do have trade scenarios if you want to look at some of them.
Yeah, let's see what PFF has.
Carolina wants to come up.
See, that's no matter what kind of capital they're giving, you just can't give a division rival their franchise quarterback that you're going to have to play twice a year for the next 10 years at least.
Do you think it's a possibility in draft night that this happens or no?
No.
I think it's a possibility that Carolina calls. I think they will try. They'd be foolish not to, but they'd also be foolish to expect it to go through because I don't think Atlanta's going to do that.
Okay, so if Atlanta would say was keened in on Trey Lance, unfortunately it didn't happen. Where do they go from here?
So if I'm Atlanta, I'm big on the mindset that if you're a good roster, right? So the Detroit Lions, right? Let's say one of these quarterbacks fell to the Lions at 7. They took a 7, right? At 7.
Yeah.
I'm not considering a quarterback because I know I'm going to be so bad regardless. I'm going to be picking in the top 3 next year, right? The Falcons are not going to be picking in the top 5 next year. So I'm of the mindset if you're here, while you're here, grab a quarterback since you're going to need one in a year or 2 anyway, right? But the problem is bringing in Arthur Smith, the quarterback savior, right? And them trying to win now because I think they do think that they have a window. And taking somebody in the top 5 that you're not going to play for, I think, 2 years because of Matt Ryan's contract situation. I think it's going to be hard to get rid of even after a year. I think they're going to focus on quarterback in the future. I don't even think they're thinking about it at pick 4. So if they're not trading, I'm going to have them taking Kyle Pitts, Florida.
I love that pick. I think I had that in my latest mock too. I even think they'll consider Sewell there.
I think they will too. I just think it's just so much investment in first-round picks and second-round picks in their offensive line right now. It's just you need another weapon in the offense because Julio misses a lot of games. Calvin Ridley's there, yes, but besides him, who do you have? Russell Gage and Hayden Hurst. You bring in what people are considered to be, generational talent at the tight end position, and we saw last year with Darren Waller and Kelsey how rare that is.
Yeah, and even having a good second tight end, Hayden Hurst, would not be bad for an offense. So
yeah.
And what's funny is Julio is actually 32, and Calvin Ridley's 28 already. I know he's not old, but he's not 23 or 24.
Because he just broke out last year because he came out of college at an old age.
Yeah, so
out of Alabama,
definitely a possibility. So. And like you said, they locked Matt Ryan in for this upcoming season and next season. So if Trey Lance is their guy, they would still do it, but they're not going to force their hand if 3 quarterbacks are off the board and their 4th guy doesn't match up for their value.
Yeah, I think.
Markello, would you have taken Pitts there too, or no?
I probably would have. I understand that they do have a lot of first and second round picks tied up in that line, so I understand not going Sewell, but just something about leaving Sewell there is hurting me.
Okay.
No, trust me, I'm
fair.
a believer in building the offensive line, but
no, I still love
do.
the pick. I love the pick of Kyle Pitts. This could be Tony Gonzalez type territory again, where you finally get a nice tight end to move the offense.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to break your heart again because I'm up, and the Bengals. I'm going to take Jamar Chase. Like,
you're not breaking my heart, bro. If I'm picking as the Dolphins, I'm sitting there laughing at the world because I backed up 3 picks and I still get the guy that I'm probably going to take anyway.
It's funny because I don't think the Dolphins are going to take an offensive lineman. I think they're going to take even.
Yeah, I don't think they would have traded up for offensive lineman. That's the funny thing.
So I think
at the same time, I think they were banking on Chase or Pitts being there.
I still think they like Devontae Smith a lot with Tua. So, but
really?
Yeah, I'm taking Chase here, and it's really like the Bengals didn't necessarily get like with Riley Reef, like they gave themselves a little bit of flexibility, not in order to to pass up on Sewell, but like Markello said on a different, I think the last episode, it's like the guard class is really good and the tackle class in this. Obviously, there's a drop off, but in the top of round 2, they'll get a starting caliber guard. So
for sure, someone on the inside, whether it's a guard or a center, you're going to get someone.
And they need basically 2 of them. So
yeah,
it's a good class to do that. So you're up, Markello, the Miami Dolphins. I think
so. This has to be Sewell for me, just because Jamar Chase is off the board. If you would have told me Jamar Chase was still on the board, because I think that was their idea in backing up that, we're not going to go Sewell, we'll back up, take Chase, and it'll work out. But at this point, you're dealt the hand that you're dealt, so I'm going to go Sewell from Oregon.
Okay. If I'm making my mock draft based on our first 5, I would have put Devontae Smith or Waddle, probably Smith. But
yeah, I like Waddle. But I don't know. I think he was saying that he didn't like playing with Tua and whatnot. Even Devontae Smith came out and was pretty vocal that Mac Jones is the better player. So
yeah, but one of them getting drafted this year. I think they were just helping their guy. But yeah, I mean, I actually like Sewell, and the Dolphins. I know they vested a lot, but it didn't all hit last year. So I wouldn't hate. This would be a smart pick for them, but I don't think that's the direction they're going to head. Do you like Slater close to Sewell or no?
I do.
Slater's a different breed than Sewell. Sewell's just super fast, super agile. Slater's just a monster.
I think they both make up for what the other lacks.
Well. They both do things really, really well that the other person, can't do. So it's just kind of what you want.
Okay, so we gave you Sewell. So the Markello and the Dolphins are happy. I don't know if Dolphins fans are going to like that. I think they're banking on getting a offensive weapon. But hey, like you said, Kyle Pitts went before their pick and Jamar Chase. So if they're not comfortable with, they should be. Devontae Smith's pretty good and Jalen Waddle, but if they want to shoot the number 1 offensive lineman, it falls to them. It's certainly not a bad thing. They're going to have options here is the point anyway, no matter what happens. So
and they get more draft capital. So it worked out.
So Peter, you're back up. The Detroit Lions.
So again, based on how this mock went for us, how it is. If I'm Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell right now, I am ecstatic and I'm picking up the phone. There's no way with Justin Fields still on the board at 7. I'm taking a pick that's any. I'm not picking a quarterback, but somebody's going to want this quarterback. There's no way somebody's not trading up, even if it's Carolina for 1 pick or whoever it is. Broncos.
So
is that the only option we have there?
I think we can do. We'd have to offer something, and then it would you can see forces trade. So.
Yeah, I'm trading this pick 100% if I'm.
Okay, but you think it's going to be Denver? Oh, can we do it? Oh, we can do a different team. Okay,
yeah,
so here's our options.
Yeah.
Denver, Patriots, Washington, Chicago, Pittsburgh, and the Saints.
Okay, so
you actually convinced me that Chicago would go crazy here and do it.
Yeah, I'm not comfortable falling all the way from 7 to 20 though. I still want some talent on this roster, so I'm looking at Denver, at worst, New England.
Okay.
So what are who controls those teams? Who wants to be willing to? What do you guys think out of those 2 teams who's be willing to trade up for Justin Fields? Because that's who this pick would be.
Denver and New England.
But you don't think maybe Carolina would jump up 1 spot?
I think they would. So that's why. But it doesn't say this here on PFF, so I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
Force a trade that's not.
Oh, we can. I think
you could. It's just not one of the recommended.
Yeah,
thing.
Okay. Look, I don't mind who trades up. If I'm Detroit and Brad Holmes, I'm moving down. I'm taking advantage of the fact that Justin Fields is still here.
But like, I think Carolina's going to kind of guarantee to get a quarterback. I mean, who knows? Maybe I feel like the Patriots, all their moves, right? Like, I understand they got a lot better. Like, we gave them an A, but all their moves don't make sense if they don't get a quarterback on a rookie deal. Like, if they let this happen, and now, like, well, who's left? Okay, so we actually have Fields and Mac Jones left, so never mind. But I don't feel like I feel like the draft's gonna be different than this. I feel like all 5 might end up in the top like 12. Which would be crazy. At least definitely 4. 4 in the top 10 is almost like guaranteed at this point. So, but we'll go from here. So
I'm good with a trade down, even if it's one spot.
All right, so we'll just offer obviously 8, and then maybe like 151. It's only like what did the Bears give up to move up one spot for Trubisky?
Oh, we would have to look that up real quick.
It wasn't like anything crazy. It might have been a 3rd or 4th.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll offer this, and then just for 7. 151 is what, round 4, right?
Yeah. So the Bears traded number 3, number 67, and number 111.
Yeah, that's a lot. What the hell?
For one spot.
A 3rd and a 4th.
We'll give up 73 and maybe 193. So the Lions actually made a little bit for one spot. They need to rebuild. So
yeah,
they did not accept it. All right, screw it.
PFF does this
151. Well, I could force the trade, but all right, we're just gonna force the trade. I mean, Lions, come on.
We're not gonna negotiate with PFF.
All right, so
Carolina's doing one round anyway.
So Carolina, what do you think, Fields or Mac Jones?
I think this would have to be Fields.
Yeah, it's probably Fields.
The Lions, are we looking to trade down again, or are we just going to –
I think
Mac Jones is still on the board for one of these teams.
Mac Jones is still on the board.
I think you take Jalen Waddle here.
Yeah, or Devontae.
I was gonna say Devontae Smith, but it's really your guys' pick of the litter.
See, I like Devontae Smith, but just him being so undersized is like a little concern to me.
But here's my thing, right? Because that's what everybody's saying, right? That's what everybody's knocking. His frame, he's playing at 170 or something, right? But you're worried about injury concern with a guy with that frame who has never been injured. He has give you no reason to think that. And he could take hits. He's not like Jerry Jeudy where as soon as he's touched, he falls down, right? I think he's way better prospect than Jeudy was, and I love Jeudy coming out. And then you have Jalen Waddle, who has that, better frame, but yet he's the one who's, has a little bit of injury concern. Realistically, he's the one who misses time. So just because I'm not judging Devontae Smith based off his frame, if he's been playing football and not getting hurt, I trust him in that. You're going to get him in an NFL training room, right? Strength and conditioning. I think he'll be fine. We see players play skinny all the time.
Yeah, I think you're up now. So Devontae Smith?
I'm personally going Smith. I think there's a clear gap between him and Waddle. I just think regardless if Jared Goff is your long-term answer or not, you can't have him go playing out there with scrubs. Get a number 1 receiver. You just lost Galladay. You thought about tagging him. You didn't. Go get your new number 1.
Peter's not going to like my pick here for the Broncos, but it has to be done.
Would you trade down or no? Would you just stay here?
No. Okay. I'm not going nowhere. I know what I'm taking.
Who are you looking at?
Sign me up for that quarterback from Alabama.
Okay.
I
like that. I think Denver should be involved in the quarterback.
100%, dude. If Drew Lock, look, I'm not saying kick Drew Lock out the door immediately as soon as you make this pick and send it in the card, but
here's my thing with this, right?
This gives Drew Lock like the sense of, all right, my job's on the line. I need to perform.
So yesterday, Markel, I think I told you we were playing Xbox, and I told you I saw a report that as of right now, the front runners to trade for Sam Darnold would be Denver, and if not Denver, number 2 would be Chicago. My thing is, if you draft a quarterback, especially Mac Jones, who just won the national championship in the top 10, if you're Denver, right? It's different if you trade for Sam Darnold because, he's Sam Darnold. He's been in the league years. You don't really owe him anything. You're giving up like a day 2 pick, right? So I'd rather them trade for Sam Darnold because if you draft Mac Jones in the top 10, the first time Drew Lock has a bad game, it's going to be like, oh, put in Mac Jones. You're already signing off Drew Lock. No matter, even if he plays good, you're cutting ties with Drew Lock. That's what that tells me.
I think
so. In my eyes, just
Markel Wiz.
Yeah. So.
Dude, I'm 100% sending him away. Like, bro, get out of here.
So sorry,
that's fine. All right, look, I don't hate it. I just don't want the quarterback controversy and what week is.
No,
That's what's going to end up happening.
that would be terrible. That'd be annoying. But at the same time, if Matt Jones works out, nobody will care.
So I don't hate it.
So the Dallas Cowboys, I think this is pretty self-explanatory. They're going to take Surtain. That's unless he gets taken before, like if a quarterback doesn't, if we don't have 5 quarterbacks in the top 9, then maybe he doesn't fall. But assuming he's on the board, I think it's almost a lock that he's going to Dallas. Him or Horn, but Dallas definitely need a secondary. So Markello, we'll just skip to you. The Giants, the G-men. I don't see Greg Rousseau here, but tell us who you're taking.
I hate that I constantly see like Greg Rousseau picked at this spot. Like based on this board, I'd probably take Rashawn Slater.
What do you think the Giants will?
Oh man, dude,
I still think there's a good chance to go Slater if he's on the board. I think he's that good of a prospect.
Yeah, there's a really good. I've seen other like people saying we're gonna go Horn, but it just doesn't make sense for now.
What about your boy Pay?
Aziz.
I know you like Aziz.
I like Aziz also, but we just have such big like holes on the offensive line. Like we just cut Zeitler. I think Will Hernandez is on his contract year, and like Andrew Thomas didn't play, the greatest football of his career. So hopefully he improves. But I think we definitely have some spots that fall on the line. So with Rashawn Slater being there, I don't think you could pass.
All right, I'm not going to argue. I'm not sure the Giants are going to do it, though. They kind of remind me of the Dolphins this year, where I just don't think they're going to do it again with offensive line. Like, should they do it? Absolutely. Like, you always want to strengthen it, get it the best it can. Slater's an awesome prospect who should not have fallen to 11, but when 5 quarterbacks go in the top 10, good players, tend to fall.
You would convince me that we'd take like a defensive player. I just don't know who would fit there.
But we haven't heard. What about your boy Parsons? I know you liked him a lot.
Dude, I have no idea what's going on with him and his like allegations and whatnot. So I don't want to touch that at 11 and then have a Deshaun Watson situation start unfolding in New York. No thanks.
Yeah. Look, I love that Slater pick, but I don't know if Gettleman will do that just because he's on the hot seat, and I don't know if Slater's going to make the most impactful. Like, it's not that he won't make an impactful, as a player on the field, but you're going to want a playmaker, show everybody that you're making good picks. But I like that you picked Slater. I think it's smart. I like him better coming out than Andrew Thomas last year, and you picked him at 4.
Yeah, me too.
For sure.
I do think you're going to take an edge player, though, like in the actual draft, whether it's Aziz.
It could be that.
All right, sign me up for Aziz at that point because I don't think I would take anyone else.
It's too late, so you missed your chance.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, like, if it were to be an edge, I'd take Aziz.
That's right. We have 3.0. Okay. Don't worry about it. It's coming. 3.0 will come out eventually. We can take an edge for you, so we cover all our bases. So the Eagles, Peter, I think you're up because we traded your pick, Markello.
Yeah. So I think they have a lot of options here, which is why they traded down in the first place. They see the 2 top wide receivers are off the board, so I think they would be maybe a little hesitant to go wide receiver, even with Waddle there. I think they're going to look at J.C. Horn for secondary help, but ultimately, I think the hype is too real for Waddle. And I think he could be what Jalen Reagor wasn't for them, right? So even with the injury concern, I'm going to give Jalen Hurts no excuses. I think I'm going to lock in Jalen Waddle here.
Okay, I'll take it. Let me counter you before I lock it in, man. I really think they're going to take Horn.
Look,
Horn had that good of a pro day, consideration. Like I know Waddle's super fast and everything, but like you mentioned, the injuries and stuff. Like they took a wide receiver last year in round 1. They still obviously have the need. But if you read the reports, man, they don't believe in Hurts. He's just going to be a filler this year. And I know, like,
I think if they had 6, they would have taken quarterback.
Yeah, and you can still set up your future quarterback, obviously, with Waddle. Like, I do think Waddle is much better than Reagor. He's super good. Like, he might not even be here if he was healthy all of last year. That's how good of a year he was having. But I don't know, man. That Eagles secondary has been bad for so long. Like, Darius Slay's up in age. Like, Horn had a massive pro day, probably maybe even better than Surtain. So I think he's going to be the pick here.
If you want to put it there, I won't argue with you. I just figured, you let all your wide receivers out the door. Yeah. No, because that's why I mentioned Horn. I'm looking at Horn here. Those are my 2 options, so I won't get mad at either or. My thing was right now, who's in your wide receiving room besides Jalen Reagor that you could rely on?
But then again,
you're going to lose Ertz too. So you're going to have Jalen Reagor, Dallas Goedert, and what?
I mean, it's not going to be much. Hopefully, Travis Fulham was right last year, but
I think they're just preparing to be the worst team, like top 2 in the NFL.
So you know what? Even though it's
I'm
my
big
pick,
swing.
again, I think this could go either Waddle or Horn, Markel, if you want to
Yeah,
make the
Markel,
deciding pick.
you be the over. You decide.
I mean, look, they're both good picks because either way, like your receiver room and your cornerback room are just horrible. So you can sway me either way. But I think I'm gonna agree with Ryan here. I'm gonna go with Horn because they don't think Hurts is the guy. So why are you gonna help him? There's no point in investing in him. And
No, look, that's a good point. And with all the number one receivers now that you have in your division, you have to guard Amari Cooper, right? Dak's coming back.
Yeah.
You need corners to help guard the Dallas Cowboys all around, Gallup, all of them. You have a down division, right? So you have to deal with Scary Terry and now Curtis Samuel. I don't hate it. I think it's going to be between these two.
All right. You guys can sway me later on if you guys disagree. So the Charger, I think we all agree it's going to be an offensive lineman. Let me try to sway you guys. So I don't think it's going to be Darisaw. I think it's going to be Elijah Vera Tucker, or I even want to give them Tevin Jenkins. I know he hasn't been in the top 15 in many mock drafts, but like not all mock drafts are accurate. There's people, especially this range. Once we hit here, there's going to be surprises in the draft, and I don't even think this should be a surprise. I think Peter agrees with me. He's my third favorite tackle, and honestly, he's really good. That's even like an unfair thing because of like how high Sewell and Slater are. But it's up to you guys. Like,
you definitely have me here with Elijah Vera Tucker, 100%. I would put this.
Look, as long as you're saying that it's offensive lineman, we see this every year in the draft. Everybody has their rankings for every position, and then you see who do the 49ers take that nobody was expecting them to take, or not the 49ers. I'm sorry, the Falcons, their offensive lineman picks.
Yeah, Caleb McGarry, and Chris Lindstrom. But I think
they were down on rankings compared to who was left on the board at the time. So this is just NFL draft rooms, and especially this year with COVID and players sitting out and no combine. Every team's rankings are going to be far different than everyone else's, I think.
Let me try to sway you because Vera Tucker is going to be super good, but I think he's going to be a guard. Not that you can't take a guard this high, especially if he's going to be a Pro Bowler. But I do think the Chargers' biggest need on the line is left tackle. And I feel like Tevin Jenkins is going to make the switch from right tackle to left tackle like Jedrick Wills did last year. And I don't think it's going to be that, I think he can handle it. I think he'll have a good rookie year too. So
I like him just as much as Darius. So I think people are concerned maybe about his arm length, but based on production, you didn't see that being an issue with him on the tape.
Markel, are you good with this?
I'm good with that.
It's not a popular pick.
I have him and Darisaw pretty close together. Like I have Darisaw slightly above him, but even if you want to give them Tevin Jenkins, I still like the pick.
Yeah, in the NFL, especially with offensive linemen, it's all preference and scheme fits, right? Mm-hmm. So if you want, that's perfectly fine.
So who's up? Markella?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think this is going to be Elijah Vera Tucker for me. I think that line is piss poor, and with the Chargers just passing on him, that he falls right into your lap. It's like a Christmas gift.
Yeah, I can't even who else would even be a possibility, right? Because we know their offensive line's a big need. Edge, maybe Kwity Paye. I've seen him mocked here.
Yeah, I could see maybe Azeez Ojulari, Kwity Paye.
Phillips if his medical check out.
Tucker.
Yeah, it's just not Tucker. The Vikings necessarily don't always outside of Bradbury, right? Who they took in round 1. It seems like they always skip an offensive lineman, but I think I'm with you that this is who I would take if I was them. I don't know if they're going to do it, but
this is the biggest need for me at least.
It's good value too. Like Vera Tucker at 14 is he's a great. Mm-hmm. He's gonna be I think he's gonna be a multi-time Pro Bowler, at least a solid player.
Before you guys lock this in, I'm 100% on board with taking offensive line. Mm-hmm. If I'm any team in the league at any point, I'm always with bolstering it. We're at pick 14, and we have not taken an edge rusher. And if any team needs one, it's the Minnesota Vikings. And you have your pick of the litter at the top guys. So I know in my mock draft, I had them taking edge.
Okay, and let's throw this out there. If Hunter's getting traded, if they know this, if he's not coming back for whatever reason, then you could certainly be onto something here.
Yeah, I'm not going to get mad at you for the offensive line pick, but if you're not at least considering Paye or Azeez.
I like Azeez. I can give him Azeez.
It's just you could still pick Elijah Vera Tucker. I'm fine with that, but I think edge needs to at least be in the conversation for this pick.
Yeah, it's totally up to you, Markello. I'm good with whatever.
Man,
I understand both needs. It's just it would be wrong not to at least consider
The Vikings
That's
necessarily I don't. It's not they don't value offensive linemen. They just never take them in round one. Every year we say like, oh, they need this offensive lineman. The guy falls to them, and it's just always another
And
player.
not just that, they also let guys walk in free agency, and
Well,
they just
what edge rusher would you guys give them if you were picking here?
I'd probably give
my
him,
edge one is Aziz,
Yeah.
but I
Yeah.
think for what they do, right, Zimmerman's scheme fit, and I think I have a feeling that Pay is everybody's ranked one, but I could be wrong. So I think it's between Pay or Aziz. But I think as in terms of pure edge rusher, Aziz, if you want more of, well, let's get this straight. If you're taking injury aside, it's Jalen Phillips. He's up there as the best all around.
he's my edge one.
Defensive end. Yeah, if
I
you
would
take
take
injuries
him.
out of it. But, and look, it's again, NFL crazy season. Everybody's gonna have everybody everywhere. So I think Jalen Phillips is the best all around edge defender. If you're looking specifically more for the run game, Pay. But even though he can still rush the passer, it's just Michigan didn't utilize him well. And Aziz is going to get to the quarterback no matter what or who's in front of him. So it's, again, your pick of the litter, scheme fit. I think Pay fits what they want to do without the injury concern of Phillips. But I like Aziz more than Pay. So it's, again, your pick of the litter.
You're killing me here, man.
They could go in any order, these top edge rushers.
I know. Yeah, I
It's
really
all
like
scheme.
Aziz, but you're making a good point that like Pay is a better scheme.
Markel, the time has come.
Yeah, let's send in the card
The
with
Vikings missed the pick again.
Let's send in the card with free Pay.
All right.
Peter swayed me on that.
I do think it might be Aziz on draft night. I got a feeling that the edge.
I love Aziz, dude.
The edge ranking is not going to be the same as we see here. Like the pro day Parsons had, and even though it's not technically an edge, and his teammate that we look, where is he? I passed him already.
Jason Away.
Yeah, Away. Man, he's going in the first round now. Like that, you don't have that athleticism. Like when you're an athlete that like and a super athlete, like that they always get drafted in the first round.
Me and Peter were talking about this yesterday. Did you see the picture of him next to Patrick Graham and Joe Judge? Dude, his traps had traps.
Who? Parsons or Away?
Away.
No, I didn't see the picture.
Dude, he was like scary big. Like he looked bigger than Myles Garrett.
I'm telling you, he's gonna end up in like the top 20. Like it's just gonna happen. It always happens. Like Rashawn Gary happened that one year because like he was super athletic, but Michigan weren't using him right. He actually did develop into a decent player with the Packers, but it's gonna happen.
Well, look at that, Michigan using a defensive line. Who would have thought?
I'll pay at least that using like a multiple different roles. Like he was better on the inside, but like he could definitely take a next step because he's great in the run game, but he obviously needs a little bit of work as a pass rusher. But he has the tools, so. Like if Mike Zimmer buys into that, I wouldn't be surprised. So the New England Patriots, so they did not get a quarterback. Who's up, Peter or me?
Did you make the Chargers pick? You did, right?
Yeah, I did. Okay.
I think we messed up the order, so it doesn't really matter at this point, but it's all right.
Okay. Look, I would want to consider my options here. Obviously, quarterbacks are off the board, not an option. Mm-hmm. Jalen Waddle is still here somehow, right?
Yep.
You signed back Kyle Van Noy, so I'm not really looking at the Michael Parsons or JOKs of the world. My only consideration would be, 15, like you could take a corner, but with Farley now falling down boards, is it really worth it?
They could take not.
They could take an edge rusher. I like Aziz. I know Bill Belichick loves his defensive guys,
and he loves Georgia. He's drafted multiple players from Georgia over the
years. Trust me, I really want to take Aziz. I might even take Aziz here, but I can see why people are saying Jalen Waddle. I feel like every mock, if Jalen Waddle's there 15, that's the Patriots taking him. But can you really see, regardless of all the moves that they made?
Normal, Peter.
Do you really? No, I know, but do you really think? Because I honestly, I don't. I thought there was more of a chance for the Patriots to take a quarterback than the wide receiver in the first round. I can't see.
I don't think they're going to go wide receiver. So.
Belichick goes Sony Michel, right? Didn't work out in the long run. N'Keal Harry, they're already looking to move, right? They don't even want him in the building anymore. So why would they add in another, granted the 15th pick of the draft? It's not like they're picking at the end to the first round, right? Another wide receiver.
Well, how do you guys feel about either like a Micah Parsons or like JOK?
I think those are great picks, especially for this range. I just think for what the Patriots need right now, you need a pure pass rusher, right? To go opposite Judon. You bolstered out that defensive line first. And I think you just take if they didn't take Van Noy, they still 100% would have been a JOK or Parsons. But because of the Van Noy signing and the leadership in the middle of the field, I'm going to go with Aziz.
All right. Fair. I think they might even look at the Penn State kid, honestly.
That could
This
be
high at 15?
I think he's going to go in the top
Dude.
20 in the draft.
He ran like a 4.46, and he's like huge.
He was the best athlete out of all these edge rushers. So
That's
I mean, he did have 0 sacks in 2020. So like, it's a little bit like, oh, what happened with the production? But it was a short season. I'm not going to give him excuses, but like Hunter, his last year of college with the Vikings had 0 sacks as well. So it's not like a foregone conclusion he's going to stink, because if a team can unleash him, his athleticism is nuts. So
yeah, look, that's fine.
You already know
my edge one on the board.
GM and some teams gonna be like, we can get the best out of him, we can coach him, and they will take him. I will almost lock it in, as long as he doesn't get in trouble outside the field or hurt. He's gonna go in the top 20 in the NFL draft.
Well, I'm looking at 2 teams right now that could take him.
He ran a 4.36 40. Apparently, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was nuts. It was crazy. And it wasn't even just the 40. It was like every single drill he like aced, like the 3-cone, all of it.
Yeah, I just send you guys this whole like pro day stats. You guys got to look at these. They're crazy.
All right, while we're doing that,
He almost has like a 40 vertical.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, we'll read it. A 4.36 40, a 4.21. What is it? Shuttle, 6.83. What is that? L drill, 21 bench presses, and 39.5 vertical. That's crazy. That's all like 90th percentile. Especially for his position.
I'm taking Aziz at 15 because he's my personal edge one. I just think it makes a lot of sense to take my edge one if he's still on the board.
By the way.
No, we locked him in already, but I'm just saying, he's.
I don't even think. But Ryan, I don't even think your guy's out of the question here. I don't think Jalen Phillips at 15 is out of the question either. Bill Belichick loves run stop, stuffers, and having him on the line again, injury concern. Yes, that's why he's falling and he's not here right now, but he fits more of what Bill Belichick likes. I'm just assuming that you take Aziz's natural talent and he learns alongside Judon and Vinoy and all these guys in terms of.
It wouldn't even surprise me if the Vikings don't take Pay. Like, Pay could definitely go here because Bill Belichick also loves his Michigan.
Yeah, 100%.
He's taken 2 defense linemen in the last 2 draft classes, Chase Winovich and Josh Uche. So they've obviously watched a lot of Michigan down there with New England. But anyway, the Cardinals are on the board, and obviously I think it would have been Farley or Horn depending on what happened, but I think Farley's injury is going to push him down a little bit. Like, he still is an insane athlete, but it is a little bit scary. So I think I'm on the board. I think I'm going to lock in Waddle here. Like, I know they have Christian Kirk, and I know they just signed AJ Green, but it's like Jalen Waddle can definitely open up an entire offense, and I think he will. Like, Kyler Murray's best trait, in my opinion, is not even his athleticism. It's his deep ball. I think it's one of the best in the league. And I think Jalen Waddle will be an awesome addition to this offense.
Yeah, that's fine with me. Even with the AJ Green signing.
That was only a 1 year, so it could even.
Yeah, and he's coming off a bad year, so what can we really expect?
People are saying you're going to have 4 of those wide receivers in the room, but realistically, AJ Green's a 1-year deal. He won't be extended, right, because of his age and how much production he's actually going to have. And Christian Kirk might not even be here in a year either.
His contract.
Christian Kirk was missing during the season,
Yeah, he does that too.
Sometimes,
so I'm good with Jalen Waddle.
And plus, Andy Isabella just completely flopped. You can admit it. It's been 2 years. He's done nothing. So, like, don't let him being on the roster, not take
one game a year that he flashes.
The Raiders, the weirdest team in the first round. We just never know what they're gonna do.
This felt great for them though.
Yeah.
This is very good.
Who's up?
So.
This is Markello, and I see 4 different picks you could go.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking Darisaw.
Yep.
Thinking Mara Tucker.
Okay.
Is he still there, Mara Tucker? Oh, he's still there. So.
Yeah.
Okay, so 5 people then.
You could even kind of convince me Micah Parsons because it would be like the stupid Raiders pick that they always make.
At this point, I don't think it's that stupid. You just take all that natural talent and you throw it on the field and see what happens.
I think they're going to take Barrymore. I'll just that's my little input. So.
Oh my God. Yeah, I was thinking like a Marvin Wilson or a Christian Barmore.
Yeah,
that's actually why I had them in my mock because I didn't have this falling like this, Ryan. I had Barmore going to the Raiders.
I'm going to have that in every single mock draft. They could even take the chance on the edge. They need it so bad.
Yeah. You could even argue they need corner help too. So
yeah, I wouldn't be mad if they took Farley. Like, he's a good. I know he's injured, but he's actually.
I'm gonna give them Darisaw though, just because they moved Trent Brown. They're moving a lot of pieces of the offensive line.
Yeah,
their whole offensive line they moved.
Yeah.
And I don't think they think Darisaw is going to be there for them at 17.
I will give him Darisaw.
Probably not, but just the way it felt.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think in their eyes, if Darisaw's there at 17, I think they.
So
Yeah,
excited about
I
that.
think in my mock, I think I had them taking a tackle no matter what. I think it was like Cosme.
But this is the problem that the Raiders put themselves in now. Again, Ryan, we talked about this last week, right? With you're just extending your rebuild every year to rebuild again, and you need to finally fix this defense. It's been years of you addressing it, and it's not working because you're missing on the picks, and you have all this defensive talent on the board. But because you are who you are, as in Mayock and Rudin, you have to draft offensive line because you got rid of the whole offensive line.
Yep. And look, Darisaw is still like a very nice consolation prize.
No, I know, but it's just more the fact of like it didn't need to happen this way.
Yeah.
Agreed. But we gave him Darisaw, so life's a little bit easier on Carr, hopefully. But the Dolphins, we gave him Sewell. So who's up? Peter?
I think it's me. And
man, don't do it, Peter. Don't pass on him. Don't do it.
I think I like JOK more than Micah Parsons.
Really?
I think I do. But I don't know if Micah Parsons is still on the board at pick 18, I don't know if they pass him up.
Bro, Brian Flores is licking his lips trying to send in this card right now. Like that's
I really think I'm gonna push for away here. I think he can go edge.
You think so?
Ryan just wants him in the top 20. I told you, I told him when we were talking about him at 15, I see two teams right now that could take him. I was looking at 17 and 18.
Look, you could definitely tell me away, but I just think with Micah Parsons still on the board, and
I'm gonna go Micah Parsons. If he's there at 18.
I think Brian Flores, if anyone, is gonna be able to like keep him in check. Make sure he isn't doing stupid.
Yeah, and the prospect of Parsons shouldn't be at 18. It's just like the off the field concerns right now. But we'll see if they clear up closer to draft time. Obviously, there's still plenty of time for that.
Hopefully.
Well, look, this is a guy that we used to say was going to go in the top 7, and we have him falling now to 18 and could fall farther. It's still possible.
So the Washington football team, I think I'm up. Unfortunately, you guys didn't leave me in a great situation because all the quarterbacks are gone. 4 offensive linemen are gone, and I wanted a tackle.
I know my preference for them right now.
You still have your pick at tackle, to be honest with you. There's still a lot of tackles that I would take in this range.
I know exactly who I would run up to the board right now if I'm Washington.
Oh my God!
I want to see who you would pick first.
You know who's still on the board?
Who?
I want to let Ryan figure it out, but there's someone still on the board that should have been gone like 5 picks ago.
Richie Grant.
No, what are you talking about?
Well, I don't think they're going to go edge.
No, but you have Elijah Vera Tucker still on the board, so why not him?
Because they're not going to – I don't think they would take him. I don't think he's going to play tackle in the NFL.
He has the options to. Even if you want him to take another tackle, there's still plenty of tackles. There's Cosme, Mayfield.
That's true. I was thinking Vera Tucker for the Bears, but obviously I'm not picking for them.
You could still be on that.
Again, this is your pick, but JOK is still on the board.
Really? Yeah, but I heard they were looking at a different linebacker. Like they met with one guy like 3 times, and it wasn't the guy who's probably going to go in round 1.
Oh, so you think they just address the position later on?
Jamin Davis, I think they're going to take him in round 2. But maybe
not that much of a secret now anyway, huh?
He met with, I want to go Bateman. Like I know they got Curtis Samuel and Scary Terry, but I kind of want to overload the offense.
Look, man, it's your pick.
You could even convince me that they would buy the hype of Rondell Moore just being a freak at his pro day as well.
I was really thinking that, but like they just got Curtis Samuel, so it doesn't really make sense to. I know Rondell Moore is more of a freak athlete, but
I mean, it's funny too.
Look, Curtis Samuel.
I even think Elijah Moore might hit round 1, not like right now at the very end. Like I know he's a slot wide receiver, but like
Curtis Samuel though, you can give your like wide receiver 2 duties to, and then just bring in Rondell Moore to run the slot, and you have like Antonio Gibson that catch passes out the backfield. Like you don't really have to use Samuel as like much of a gadget guy. I
really like JOK too. Like I think he is my favorite linebacker in the draft. It's either him or Zaven Collins for me, but
he reminds me so much of like Isaiah Simmons, where he's like big, lengthy, and just can cover anywhere.
And Washington certainly need. I'm just thinking like they have this Davis guy, I think locked in on round 2 at some point. Like, But then again, like you can't guarantee that. That's still a long time away. We'll go JOK. He is super good of a prospect. Even if he doesn't play linebacker, he'll just make a difference in coverage. But man, I don't know. I might regret that pick. I think I like Bateman there. But it's all right. It's what the draft is. It's tough. Chicago Bears, who's up?
I think it might be me.
I think so.
I think you should lock in Vera Tucker. I would have taken Bateman here if Allen Robinson left, but it looks like he's going to play this year, at least with the Bears.
Yeah, I was either thinking Vera Tucker here just because he fell. But if he wouldn't have fell, I probably would have given them like Samuel Cosme, like a nice athletic tackle.
What about Barmore? I think they would, if Barmore's here at 20, I think they at least consider it.
You consider it, Markel? I don't really like Barmore.
Yeah, I wouldn't consider it.
I don't think he's a first round pick. I think he might go first round. I just don't.
Top of the second round, you could convince me, but I don't want him at 20. Yeah, so I guess you can just lock in Vera Tucker just because.
Farley here?
Honestly, I'm looking at Farley at 22. I think the Titans are in desperate need of a corner, and they're just going to cave.
I was thinking the same exact thing.
Mm-hmm. I have him in my mock, so I was going to give him to you guys, but then I was like, damn, the Titans desperately need.
And the Titans aren't scared of taking injury guys. Like they took Jeffrey Simmons, who tore his ACL, and then he missed like half his rookie year, so they don't care.
Yeah,
worked out. Like he's a good player, Jeffrey Simmons. So same thing could happen with Farley. The Bears, they'd be very happy if Vera Tucker fell to 20.
Oh yeah,
I think he just might fall a little bit because of the guard thing. Like because I know it's like sounds silly, but
he could play
outside of Quentin Nelson. Like guards don't tend to go like extremely high. So I think this is like his kind of range, maybe a little bit higher. But I don't think he's necessarily a top 15 pick, even though he should be, like just based on his talent. But the Colts, you guys pick the next two, so I can take the Jets. So
yeah. Well, we know Markel's. I'll take the Colts pick.
Yeah.
Can you show me the offensive lineman still available, please?
Oh man, Jalen Mayfield screaming, and Samuel Cosme too.
Yeah.
I like Cosme better than Mayfield. I don't know about you guys. I just like his athleticism a little bit more, but you guys can easily convince me you're going with Mayfield.
It's not ideal for the Colts, Peter. Well, we can just Dickerson, but they don't need a center.
Okay, there's no way for you to like filter between like position.
Yeah, I'm trying to fill on. Is it? Oh,
like maybe if you go to the top of the picks over here, it'll have like filter options.
Oh, like the very top.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's much easier.
Yeah.
Okay, so tackle, right?
Tackles. Yeah.
They have a weird order.
Yeah, well, Walker Little should not be that high.
Where do they have Mayfield ranked?
Oh my God.
76. I even like the BYU guy, not for round one, but BYU guys.
Yeah, he's not bad. Brady Christensen.
Yeah. So yeah.
So here I'm considering Mayfield. I'm considering Eichenberg, and not gonna lie to you, I'm considering Jalen Phillips.
You don't like Cosme?
I like Cosme. I don't like him better than Eichenberg or Mayfield.
I like
right
North Dakota State guy, but I don't know if he's gonna play left tackle in the NFL. The Colts might they might go best player available, Peter, like they usually do.
That's why I'm thinking Jalen Phillips. I think you have Jalen Phillips on the board, and I think it's not like he has like soft tissue damage, like some chronic thing. Like it's concussions. Just play smart football, play the right way. Don't put yourself in harm's way if you don't have to.
Oh, it's
easier.
Offensive tackle is just such a need, but at the same time, at 21, you're reaching a little bit.
We can get him off the board already.
I know you want Owe, but I like Jalen Phillips better more than Owe.
Because I think we all know he's going to go in the first round, and it's probably going to be higher than people think. Like I think he's going to be a top 20 to maybe 21 would fit too. But yeah, Phillips is super good, so he's my edge one. So I'm not going to argue here. I'm
going to go best available, but tackle is just such a need. It's just I'm not going to reach a 21. If I'm not taking Jalen Phillips, I'll probably look to trade back. Hopefully the Saints trade up. I want Caleb Farley.
So the Titans, Markel, I think we already know your pick.
Send me a trade, Peter.
Yeah?
Yeah, send me a trade. What's the word?
The Saints don't have the capital to do that. We can't afford that. We have too many holes.
My New York Jets are on the board. A lot fell for us, but I'm taking Greg Newsome. I think it's an easy pick. I think he fits perfect in this defense.
I like the pick.
I'd even take him over Farley, I think, at this point, just based on injury. A little bit concerned. I mean, I love Farley too. I just think the Jets are going to take a corner at 23. The only thing that would stop them is if Vera Tucker somehow fell here, or like maybe Tevin Jenkins. If he somehow fell to 23, that would be fantastic. But the chances of those two things happening are very, very slim. And just based on, like we said, Farley's injury, if he's here, definitely big consideration. Might even be the pick, but I feel like Newsome is going to be here, or at least in this range. So I think he fits the best out of all these remaining players, and it's the biggest need the Jets have outside of offensive line. Sorry, Peter, but
yeah, I know you're not leaving anybody with the same.
Peter's also a big Greg Newsome guy, so am I. So hopefully, so are the Jets. Who's up? Pittsburgh Steelers.
I think it's Peter.
It's me again?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is going to be a thing where it's right now the Steelers have so many holes, right? So I know I've seen a lot of mock drafts of them taking like Najee Harris. When you have this many holes on your roster, now you're not taking a running back. It's just not going to happen, right? That's a lot more of a luxury pick, I think. They could go literally anything. If I'm them, I'm even looking to possibly trade down. If not, if we're not going to assume it, I think not that I like Gregory Rousseau, but they're going to look at Gregory Rousseau. If you want to put Owe off the board, you could put Owe off the board here too. A cornerback right now would be a reach, considering that 2 just went back to back. So I wouldn't go corner right now.
They don't need a wide receiver either.
I don't like Rousseau, but I think they might go Rousseau. If you don't want Rousseau, you guys could put if you guys want to put Owe here, you could. This pick you guys could help me out with. It's between Owe or Rousseau. I think they're going to address defensive line. I think that's just where the best available is right now.
Like this, man, it could be Najee Harris. The board really felt like this.
That's what I'm saying. So I know everybody has him mocking here, but realistically, if I'm not taking a running back with the amount of needs I have on my roster.
I think they might
get addressed that in the second or third round.
Having the same amount of production, of like we're running it back one more year with Ben, trying to get it, and obviously they value the running back position with Bell and James Conner. So
look, again, it's an option. I see why you could do it. You could say, look, let's just take the pressure off our defense instead of relying on them. Control the ball, time of possession, help Ben out. He already gets the ball out in 0.3 seconds.
Yep.
If you guys really want Najee Harris here, that's fine. If you want defensive line, I'm fine too. So it's either running back or defensive lineman.
Yeah, it's up to you. I don't really mind.
I'd probably go defensive line.
All right, so then Owe or Rousseau. I just think Rousseau is just going to be overhyped with NFL teams because I think NFL GMs and defensive coaches are going to say, oh, look at all this natural size and talent. We could turn him into something more so than what he's ready to be right now. So I think that's where the appeal is.
Me on that.
All right, so we'll find where's Rousseau.
Again, I don't like Rousseau as a first round pick, but I know that's how like NFL teams think, right? You just look at the prospect as what they bring to the table and what you could get out of them, right? Isn't that what Ed Oliver was drafted for, really, a few years back?
Oh God,
it was more like look at what he can do and what we could turn him into. Yeah,
but I think he was a much better prospect than Rousseau.
No, 100. That's why he went in the top 10. I'm just saying it's that kind of thing. That kind of thing.
We'll give him Rousseau. I mean, he's gonna go in the first round. I think it might even be earlier than this. But the Jacksonville Jaguars, I think I'm back up. So obviously we get him Trevor Lawrence. This is tough. Let me see who I gave them in my mock.
Is it really?
Yeah, I want to see who I gave them because I don't remember right now in my mock either.
I want to give them the TCU safety. That's what I've given them a lot in the past.
Oh, yeah, it's actually what I had at 25.
Yeah, it's like
so funny enough. Just for people to know, at 22 for the Titans in my mock, I put them Rashad Bateman, Farley at 23, Rousseau at 24, and then the TCU safety at 25.
I actually gave them JLK here in mine, but he didn't make it. Now
you thought it's 25 for you?
Yeah.
Oof.
You don't think they would,
because I had Zaven Collins going 19 to Washington.
Oh, so I guess it was just a rankings thing for you, who you had higher.
They could use an edge, but they just took.
You guys aren't thinking about a tackle here?
Mason
to protect your first overall pick.
Yeah, but I think they can get Cosme or Mayfield, or even Leatherwood.
They're top around two.
Top around two.
I don't know, man. I think a lot more teams are going to be taking tackle than you guys think.
But
I think so too, because it ends up happening.
Right?
Even corner, like I think corner and tackle are going to be one of the most overdrafted positions in the first round. You're going to see a lot of corners that probably shouldn't go first round that will.
Yeah, look, I don't doubt you.
Well, how many corners do you think deserve to be in round one? Because I have like the 4 we've taken, I think are for sure first round picks.
You can also convince me of Asante Samuel, and I'd probably say 2 more. Eric Stokes.
I only think there'll be one more, but you could be right. Obviously, that's a position teams will take.
Let's look what corners are left on the board right now.
Yeah, the 2 Georgia guys, Stokes and Campbell, Asante Samuel.
Oh, Javon Holland moved to corner. Thought he was safety.
Aaron Robinson.
I think he's a hybrid.
I don't know. See, this is the thing. I need to watch more tape because
Like you can
whenever
tell me,
I put on UCF tape, I love their secondary.
Yeah.
Like absolutely love it. Like I know Richie Grant is a day 2 pick. I already saying a day 2 pick. If somebody took him at the end of round 1, everybody would be like, "This is the worst pick of the draft." I would love it.
well, look, this is your pick, but it's up to you guys.
I'm gonna
It was
give
Ryan's pick.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
feel like they were doing that in free agency. Like they wanted, like I thought they were gonna get Marcus Williams, and it just didn't happen because he got franchise tagged. Then I was thinking, okay, maybe John Johnson, but then he actually turned down an offer, didn't say where, for more money, which might have been Jacksonville, to go play with the Browns. So I think I'm gonna go safety there because, like I said, I think they'll take an offense lineman in the top of round 2.
Good for Cleveland, man. When was the last time we were able to say that about Cleveland? A star player turned down more money to go play with them.
All right, whoever's picking here, please tell me you're going edge.
Yeah, I'm going edge.
That's what they're going to do.
And it's going to be Jason Owe just because he's on the board
Thank
right
God.
now.
We finally got him.
God.
Yeah.
I've been pushing for him for since I don't know, 16 or whatever.
I think this is a Cleveland pick, though. I think this is best.
Dude, imagine this
perfect
guy
sense here.
and Myles Garrett. I would be so scared to play. Get the hell out of here, bro. That's crazy.
So Baltimore went really well for them. Bateman fell.
Yeah, Bateman.
Or Tony.
Or
Elijah Moore. Whatever you want.
Oh, are you going to let me pick?
Yeah.
Okay. I like Kadarius Toney more than Rashad Bateman. But I understand why Baltimore would go Bateman over Toney because Bateman is just good at everything. But I feel like he's not great at one thing. But they really, truly need an all-around receiver.
Can I convince you guys for another receiver?
Who?
What about Terrence Marshall?
I'm not as high on. So watching wide receivers, so like when we watch prospects, right? Like I'm just like us three, like I feel like, or just most people in general, you start with the quarterback skill positions, right? Because that's just what's most fun to watch, right? At first right away. And there's more depth to that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm truly not as high on Terrace Marshall or on Rondale Moore than everybody else is.
I don't know.
Marshall, I agree with. I don't think he's not a first round pick for me. Bateman, I disagree. I think he's better than Toney. I think he's going to be he's just not flashy. It's not like sexy, but it's just going to be like Keenan Allen, man, where he's straight up winning on Sundays. So
Baltimore needs that. So that's why I said you could lock in Bateman. But I do like Darius.
Rondale Moore, I'm all in. I'm all in. I know I always go in.
I'm not all in
on these guys, but I know because I know he's super short, but he's a super freak of an athlete. Like if he stays healthy, man, he'll be a yak king in the NFL.
You don't take that kind of prospect at wide receiver round 1, though.
Well, I mean, if the Niners were taking Deebo Samuel a few years ago in round 1, I wouldn't have minded. Like they took him at the top of round 2. It wasn't much of a difference.
I like Bateman here, though. 27 if he falls here. I don't think he's going to fall here, though. In all reality, I think Bateman's gone.
I think they could even be a team that trades up like 27, maybe to the Colts, who are sure what they're going to do. Because Phillips might even fall at the end of round 1 because of his injury history. Like if you wanted to say, okay, the Colts traded up, the Ravens traded up to 21.
We said that when I picked for Jalen Phillips here. I'm considering a trade down just based on what's on the board.
Like if you want to just put that in your head, because even the Titans could go Bateman to 22 because they lost Corey Davis.
That's what I had in my mock. My mock.
Yeah, Bateman.
It's just how it's fallen.
The Ravens might have to move up for Bateman, which is fine. I think he's almost perfect for what they want. So you take this one as well.
A lot of good picks for you here, Peter.
Yeah, look, I don't think we're going to go Barmore just because of how good we are at recruiting defensive tackles.
Mm-hmm.
If you ask me right now what the Saints need, it's corner, right? Linebacker, like I like the talent that's left at linebacker, but for round 1 and the needs we need, like I'm not stressing about linebacker.
You like any of the corners that are left?
I do. I like 3 corners right now.
Okay.
And I think this pick is going to have to be cornerback, just assuming Richard Sherman doesn't come here because I'm still, hopelessly banking on that.
Mm-hmm.
I think everybody's going to say Asante Samuel, which Here's my thing with Asante Samuel. If I'm taking a cornerback in the end of the first round, we're expecting him to be cornerback 2, right? Because I think that's what he is. I think he's in the NFL. He's going to be a cornerback 2. So in my mind, I'd rather take a corner with a lower floor and higher ceiling. I want to draft. If I'm drafting corner, I want to draft a number 1, unless he's like a nickel, but you don't take nickel corners in the first round. So I'm not going to go Asante Samuel for that reason, even though I see a lot of mocks having him to go to the Saints and I like him. I'm just not drafting a cornerback 2 in the first round. So I'm looking at Aaron Robinson, or I'm looking at Tyson Campbell, not Eric Stokes.
You don't like Eric Stokes, really?
I think Tyson Campbell is a better number 1.
Stokes?
I like both of them, but I don't know if I would take either in round 1. I think they're both round 2 players.
I think that's the thing. So I think they're going to fall, but I think for what I'm going to go Aaron Robinson.
Okay, you wouldn't take a wide receiver?
Me personally.
Here? You wouldn't take Kadarius Toney?
No. I mean, I consider it, right? Because I like Kadarius Toney. I really do, but I'm paying a wide receiver $100 million right now. I'm paying a running back $75 million. And I know like last year our wide receiver room was tough, but I like when healthy. I like who we have. I believe in Deontay Harris, needs to stay healthy, right? I believe in Callaway, needs to stay healthy. And again, the Saints are good at finding guys. So
yeah, Lattimore was just arrested, so I don't know what that situation is. So might even be more.
That's again, Aaron Robinson more need, but Kadarius Toney could definitely be an option, right? Jameis Winston, we're assuming, is going to win the job, and if you could use Toney's speed on the outside and give us that real deep threat, but we have Deontay Harris's speed, so I'm fine for now.
So hear me out, man.
I like the Aaron Robinson pick.
Who's up, Markello? Is it you or me?
There's no way in the world that I'm giving Green Bay a receiver because they won't do it. Like I want them to do it. They won't do it.
They won't do it.
Right. I'm not. It's.
Who did
like,
I have?
I am banging the table here for like Rondale Moore to go, but it's just not gonna happen.
No.
I don't know. I'm gonna put my input. I think they're gonna take Elijah Moore here.
Dude, they're not gonna take a receiver. Don't trick yourself.
They're gonna take a slot wide receiver in round 1.
We say every year, they're gonna get a receiver. Like it only makes sense. Let's help out Aaron Rodgers, and then they go do stupid things.
They're gonna do it this year because of what happened last year. They're gonna cave.
Dude, they're not gonna do it. They haven't even committed to Rodgers past 2021. They're not gonna do it.
All right, so who do you want to give them?
Who am I gonna put here? They're gonna take a corner, bro. Their corners are piss poor.
You like Stokes here, right? Or like Asante?
No, I would give them. I mean, look, just because Asante Samuel's here, I'd probably give them Asante Samuel. But I'm a big fan of Stokes.
Give whoever you want. The Packers.
It only makes sense to give them Asante Samuel. Like Asante Samuel is gonna play better than Stokes.
But do you think you think that's what the Packers are gonna do?
Well, in my mind,
I actually think Asante Samuel is a good scheme fit for what they do.
In my mock, I think
he's a really good player.
Samuel was off the board.
He gets his hands on gets turnovers. So,
and that's what that defense is lacking. If they have Kevin King hold, one, don't get burnt, but actually, be able to take the ball away, they probably win the NFC Championship game, go to the Super Bowl.
All right, so we want to go Samuel? Definitely need a corner. So
they desperately need a corner.
I like Tyson Campbell more, but
so I really want them to get a wide receiver, dude. I feel so bad for Aaron Rodgers, but it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I'm on the board. I'll keep this one short for the Bills. I'm just going to go Najee Harris.
Love it.
Even though, so he was my running back 1. I've changed. Javonte Williams is my RB1.
Even with his 40 time.
A lot of people are saying he's like the next Nick Chubb.
Yeah, I don't care. He's a freak.
Look, I like him. I like him as my running back too, in terms of ranking. But yeah, I'm not gonna.
Yeah. Okay, Kansas City Chiefs. So you guys are finishing. I think we know they're going to take a tackle probably. Well, Kadarius Toney fell here, so could they cave in this scenario? I think they might.
Nah, I think you need to get a tackle.
I mean, they took a running back last year in the first round, so
you got Thuney, you got Kyle Long.
I know, but look, you lose Sammy Watkins. Nicole Hardman's not reliable. Demarcus Robinson not reliable. So who do you have? Tyreek Hill and Kelsey. You could definitely go with Kadarius Toney here. You could definitely make an argument.
Yeah. Even Rondale Moore in that offense, if he stayed healthy, would be crazy.
I'm not taking Rondale Moore in the first round. Ooh, this is tough. So I need you guys to help me out, right? So go to the tackles that are available, if you
Yeah, I
can,
had
please.
both, so I'll take off. All right. Leatherwood had a huge pro day, so maybe that pushes him into the end of round 1. I think the only
like
realistic
Eichenberg.
options are
Oh, Mayfield's still on the board?
Yeah.
Oh, give him Mayfield. Don't even think about it.
I like Cosme better, but we'll go Mayfield.
Yeah, I have Cosme ahead, but you could still convince me on Mayfield.
So the Bucks, I think last time we gave them a running back. Let's get rid of that.
I'm not doing that again.
No, hear me out. Hear me out here.
Well, they're not doing it.
Hear me out here.
I don't think they're ever going to do it. But
No. This is Kadarius Toney.
I highly doubt that.
Listen. You haven't signed back Antonio Brown yet. You have Chris Godwin playing under the franchise tag,
who's probably going to get extended.
Hopefully. Then you have
still have Mike Evans.
They could go
still have Johnson.
Tony he could be best player available here.
Kadarius Toney, though, in that offense, dude, he does what Antonio Brown did, but better.
Can we look at?
Did you guys watch him, the Chris De'Ami Brown? I actually really like him. I don't know about round 1, but
I did. Yeah, he had him as like wide receiver 3. I don't have him as wide receiver.
He's going to be a very high, like in my estimation. I would take him in round 2 easily. Like
yeah.
But all right, so what are we thinking?
I'm all on board for Kadarius Toney, but I don't know about you guys.
I'm not on board for that.
I might sign up for that.
Really?
Yeah. The Bucks they're like the Chiefs last year, man. They will go the best player available. In our mock, Toney happened to fall. Yeah, I think they could easily take Toney.
Dude, they brought everyone back on
the defense. You guys wouldn't consider – look, it's Markel's pick. You wouldn't consider Osai?
Except they beat. It literally, Antonio Brown's the only missing piece that hasn't – you fill it.
I would consider Osai. I'm not really as high – like I know Markel liked Osai. Like I said in the 1.0, I'm not really a huge fan of him. I don't think he's a first-round player.
Well, does pick 32 really count as – you're not going to pick again until –
yeah, but I feel like Osai's more of this middle of the second round, while Toney's a clear first-round pick. If anything, if he fell,
if you guys want to go Toney,
top of round 2.
I just think that wide receiving room's too stacked, and I don't think they're losing anybody. Even their rookie who played lights out last year got no field time.
Yeah, Tyler Johnson. That's true. But Toney can do like stuff in the backfield. I'm not a big Fournette guy either. Like Toney could take some handoffs. You can get creative with him. I think he's like it's not a need obviously, but I like this much better in our 2.0 taking. Who do we take again? A running back, right? I think we took ETN or someone with their last.
Yeah, well, look, I'm outnumbered here, so you guys can put Toney.
Yeah, it's one of those situations like the Chiefs last year where like I don't think anybody expected them to take. Well, we'll look at the grades. I see 3 A+. That's a good start. But I know this mock is the PFF is pretty harsh with the grades. So, but anyway, yeah, just to finish up. So the Chiefs took Clyde Edwards-Helaire last year. Pretty big surprise considering all the running backs in that draft class. And obviously the Chiefs, I'm not saying Damian Williams is a star, but at that time they didn't know he's an opt-out, and he's coming off, 3 touchdown performance in the Super Bowl. And they still did it.
Yeah.
So, there's the Bucks, and like we said in the free agency, they got everyone back. So, they don't necessarily have one glaring need. Peter did bring up the edge, which is a good point because, Shaq Barrett is good, very good, but he's old. He's a little bit older, and Jason Pierre-Paul probably won't be there past, this upcoming year. So I could definitely see them taking an edge just based on how many edges we had.
And even right now, just having a rotational guy.
But you know what the beauty of it is?
There's no one worth taking there, in my opinion.
You know what the beauty of it is? If you're the Bucks, you can sign basically any player you want to because you have Tom Brady.
And look, let's be realistic about something. A lot of trades happen in the middle of the first round.
Yeah, people are going to
come. And not just that, how many times do we see somebody who's supposed to be picking on day 2 trade up to the end of day 1?
Yeah, especially the end.
Again, it's our 2.0. It's just right after free agency.
Yep.
And not for nothing, it's going to start slowing down now. Don't be surprised if we start, shooting out mock drafts. We make them anyway. Might as well.
It's mock draft season now, so. And there'll be more trades. We just wanted to keep because this is the new draft order. We wanted to keep it outside of. I think we did 1 trade or 2 trades.
There's Detroit, and it was minimal.
All right,
down
so
one spot.
3 A+. Kyle Pitts is B+.
Yeah, I still think Atlanta could trade down there. I just didn't want to be, again, top 5 picks trading again.
Okay, the mock's going pretty well so far. A+. I think quarterbacks always get an A+, no matter what.
Forced trade.
Yeah. Well, we tried 2 different times. Mac Jones, A+.
Hey, A+ for I told you, bro.
Our lowest grade in the top 10 was a B-. Not too bad.
Realistically, that's going to happen. I think we can lock in Surtain at 10.
Slater, C+.
No
C+.
love.
Whoa.
Don't believe that.
Lauren, C? D-. This is wrong, man. I'll say that now. No way.
No way.
I like Darisaw there, though, so you could convince me.
They got a B-. Aziz, C-. All right.
They are.
PFF just not like the edge guys.
Waddle A-.
Waddle A-. All right. Darisaw B-.
PFF doesn't like okay.
Okay. JOK. They don't like JOK.
At 19, I think that's a great pick.
B-. All right. They don't like Phillips much either. Farley A-. All right.
I think that's not taking into account the injury though, but
Russo.
I will do anything for Farley. I will, if I'm the Saints, even with all the holes we have and lack of picks, I'm trading up for Farley.
A+ for that safety. Look at that.
That's crazy. I did not expect. I thought he was gonna be like the worst graded player we had. At least we don't have any Fs. I mean, Watch will have an F at the very end, but
I thought Greg Rousseau was gonna be an F, but he's on the verge. D+.
Yeah, D+. He's by far the worst grade. Bateman, all right, A-.
I think they're gonna give the Saints a hard grade.
Yeah.
C-. I haven't seen Aaron Robinson at all in the first round.
Ooh, B+ for Asante Samuel.
And that's what I'm saying. I have everybody seeing Asante Samuel going to the Saints. I just didn't want to be,
A+ for
consensus.
Bills could definitely have gone. They're another team that could have gone edge if you wanted to say that instead of running back.
I think I mocked them an edge.
B. C-. All right.
Oh, no way, man.
So, all right. So overall, okay. So I guess certain teams have more picks than one. So
I mean, it's really hard to say overall just for the first round.
That's got an A+. That's all that matters. That's why I went all the way down. But yeah,
John's rocking with the C, bro. I'm not hearing it.
That was fun though.
Yeah, that was fun.
How about for next week we could come back, not do another mock draft, but have a rankings video on some prospects. So we're not like we won't go too deep, but we could do like our top 5 to 6 of every position.
All right, let's start off with what, QB?
Well, let's do like skill positions first, like QB, wide receiver, running back.
And you want to do deep dives in that way. Every week we'll have deep dives into every position.
Three positions per week.
All right, well, just always have like one sleeper. So someone who's not going in round 1 or probably round 2 either. So if you want to have like some.
Spoiled my cornerback.
So we'll do top 5 and then one sleeper. So we'll have 6 players each.
All right.
All right, that works for me.
Thank you guys for joining us. This was fun, and we'll see you next week.
Next week, rankings video. I'll be there.